Hi everyone, and welcome to the fifth part of the Color My World class. This is a little bit delayed. I was so swamped making samples for the convention display boards, but I'm happy to report that I'm done with those for now. Then I need to make more for different display boards for a convention, but that will be after I return from vacation. So in this last part we'll cover more watercoloring, but this time we'll cover in a way contraband watercoloring techniques that are not using Stampin' Up supplies. Well, the stamps and the ink is Stampin' Up, but the watercolors themselves are more of artistic grade of watercolors. And we'll be working with those. So we have the Peerless watercolor here. You see those are very compact. Those are this is like film. It's highly pigmented surface. Then when you touch it with a wet brush, it like the color is so concentrated, and those are great for traveling. What I've done with those come like a little bit larger squares, but I've cut a little piece of each and I've made my own palette. And then on the side, because those are so concentrated, they'll look so much darker than the color actually is. So on the side of each one, I've done little swatch, so I can see what exactly is the color. And those like a little bit goes a long way. So that's the first one. Then we have the ones that are in tubes. This is not open yet. I had different ones, but I got those ones for my birthday, so I just wanted to use those ones. And then they're watercolor pencils. Those are intense watercolor pencils. They can be used dry and they can be used wet, and they can be used as well on fabric. Those are permanent. Once they're dried, they're not coming off with water, so they're a little bit different than the classic watercolor pencils or the watercolor pencils that Stampin' Up used to carry. And what I do with those, usually I pick up the color directly from the tip of the pencil. I don't really, because that way I get much nicer blending as well. Like you can layer them because the colors won't bleed into each other when they get wet. Once it's dry, it's permanent, so you don't need to worry about the color spreading after that in the other area. So let's get started. And I have some hot press watercolor paper here, and I have 3 of the new stamp sets that we'll be using. So I have Little Body Birthday, I have Sweetbriar Rose, and I have the Snapshot. So let's start with the Sweetbriar Rose, and we'll do the Peerless watercolors. So, and I have StazOn ink pad, so let me just mount my stamp. Okay, what I'll do is, before I mount it, let me grab some scissors here. And those scissors, I've used it for glue. I like to trim my stamps pretty closely, so that's what I'll do here. And then I do have my aqua painters, all of them here. I found I still had my suitcase from when I was on my business trip in Texas, that all my water brushes, aqua brushes stayed in there, that I forgot to take out with all my markers. I have 2 sets of markers, so it didn't really matter. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think this will be good. So just mount my stamp. Okay. And this is the thicker watercolor paper. This is the 290 pound one, actually. Yeah, this is the thicker I can't remember what was the other one. Let's see. Actually, this is a thinner. This is a 90 pound, and this other one I have as well, Fabriano hot press. It's 140. So I like working on the hot press watercolor paper because it's so smooth, and then especially when you stamp, it stays on ink. It doesn't really leave like that rough edges on the outline of the stamp. So I ink my stamp, and then I'll just stamp here. Let's see where you will be able to see it best. Okay, so here's the image, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this way you can see better. And I'll be using my Peerless watercolors. So I'll just pick green shade, and then I'll pick orange or pink. I'll go with this orange here, and then I'll go with this green. So first I'll prepare my aqua painter. Let's see which one has. Okay, this is driest. So I'll just remove a bunch of water. They've been kind of squished in the suitcase, so they're pretty wet. I just absorb the water on my paper towel and just try it on my hand to see if it gives you a lot of water on your hand, then it needs to be drier. So just go, but you don't want water leaking all over the place. So, okay. Oops. Let's see how we can do this. Oops. Okay, I'll slide my colors underneath so you're able to see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. And then I'll just pick up some color, and then this is too wet again. Okay, you will see that the brush is too wet. When you pick up the color is pulling on the tip of the brush, and you don't really want to do that. I think this is fine, and you'll just start from the center of the flower and then just pull color towards the, just start blending it in. And then if you want like lighter shade, and I'm going in a little bit circular motion so like it blends nicely. And then on the edge here we have the lightest color, and this goes pretty quick. And those are as well like transparent colors, so it's like, I really like how they're not permanent as the pencils. They're completely different. Those are like, the original design of these watercolors was to tint black and white photographs. So, but you can use them for watercoloring too. So I'll go again, and I'll just color, not the next one, but one over, so it doesn't, like, the colors don't bleed into one each other, even though they're same colors. But and then I'll do the same thing with each petal, and then I'll go back and color the remaining petals after those are dried. And if I want to add more color, if I want to make a darker color, I can go back again and add some more color on the already dried petals. And on this one I want to remove color, so just use my paper towel to remove some color from the paintbrush and continue coloring. Okay, and again I'll dry my aqua painter, pick up some more color, and go with this one. Have that one, and then I can do this one. And I'm just coloring with the very tip of the paintbrush. I don't really press too hard, so that way you have more control and you can do more detail coloring. It's okay, now I need to dry it again. I can just squish it with my paper towel. Then I grab some more color and go back. And you can do this very same thing using different inkers. And then I'll go this petal. Okay, just remove some more color from the paintbrush, from the aqua painter, and then I'll go the other petals. And this one here. And more here. Here I removed some color while I was coloring, because it was a smaller petal and I had a lot of color on my aqua painter. Now we can go back to this petal. Just okay, and then this one. Okay, and then we have one petal left here. Then I'll just remove some of the color. Okay, so the flowers are pretty much done. and I do like how they, oh, okay, I thought that I had to stop the video. I thought it was all blurry. I saw one frame that it was blurry, but I just checked the everything before and it looks just fine. So in the meantime, I think that my flower dried and we can color the centers, and I'll use some in a dark color, probably some brownish. Let's see what we have here. So I'll be using this one here. Just quickly color those centers. Let's see if you can. And I'll just pick up some more color and go again, so we get a little bit darker shade. Okay, I think this is good, and next we'll go with the green. I picked this green, so I'll again slide my palette underneath here, so that way you can see better. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit without the image getting blurry. Okay, I think this is good. Let me just clean up my brush and then we can continue. Okay, again, I'm starting with pretty okay, I'm starting with pretty dry brush, so oops. Okay, and then I'll just go one leaf at a time, and I'll just start from the top. And here, since those leaves on top are smaller, we'll probably end up soaking more color from the brush as we're coloring. If you want to have more contrast in the kind of more tones in the leaves. And I just again color with the tip of the brush. And then I'm going to add in some a little bit darker here. Removing some color. And the actual branch will be a little bit darker, so I'll pick up more concentrated color and go over the branch. So there we have that one, and then we have more leaves here. And then on the other side. And then I'll add a little bit more darker on the leaves here. Okay. Then I'll color the stem all the way through. And then we're continuing with the leaves. Here I'm just applying darker color, so I don't need to really clean the brush that often to the bottoms, and then just blending it. Like I do 3 leaves at a time, and then just go back with my brush. Okay, I'll go here. And this one. I'll do again a few leaves at a time. Okay, and then we have those larger ones here. I'll do those one by one. I'll do those 2 together actually. And then we have left those 2, 4, 6 leaves on this side. I'll do 3 at a time. And we have those 3 here. And we're almost done. So that's our image. That wasn't a good sound. Okay, that's the image. Let's see. Okay, and then if you want to add a little bit more color on those sleeves, you can do so. Just add a little bit darker. Just blend it in. and then this leaf here. Okay, so that's our the first part, and the next one I'll show you how to how I use my colored pencils for watercoloring after I pick them up from the floor.